It was only my third race, and I just, unbelievable. I didn't want to lose this job, but I'd rather go against the boss than against the guys, so I said no as well.
Happy Thanksgiving and welcome back to the channel for episode 3 with my dad, the 1970s English race mechanic, Anthony Connor. Longtime viewers will know that my dad traveled all the way from the small town of Barnack in northern England here to Hoffman Estates, Illinois, just to share these stories with you. So do me a favor and listen up, eh?
Hey. 2 weeks ago, there was a Formula One race in Brazil, which was won by George Russell. Lewis Hamilton was second. That was pretty unusual because this year Mercedes were not doing very well at all. Verstappen in the Red Bull was basically running away with it. He'd already got the title. We're going to talk today about a Formula One race that was in Brazil in 1972. We've titled this Mutiny in Brazil.
This title is a parody of Mutiny on the Bounty, which apparently young English schoolboys in the 1950s were taught about, and young American schoolboys in the 1990s were not.
The track was different then, and it was also not a Formula One race for the championship. It was just non-championship Formula One race. Sao Paulo was one of the few places where they would not allow us to drive from the hotel to the track. Taxi drivers, they would drive for us. Traffic was just crazy. The taxi drivers, if they ever would find out you had a Formula One car driver in the taxi with you, they would go nuts. They wanted to prove that they could do it themselves. We had practice and qualifying. After the qualifying on the Saturday night, the team manager came to us and said, okay, we are going to have 3 engine changes and a transmission change. We were actually working in one of these huge huts. It was a wooden, it was like a barn. It must have been about 120 degrees in there. The mosquitoes are coming in like dive bombers. I mean, we were getting bit like you wouldn't believe. We said, well, Tim, this is going to take all night. That's ridiculous. We would have to be at the track by around 6:30. We do have an alternative way of doing this. But no, and he said to the chief mechanic, he said, Dobbin, tell them to work on the car. He said to the first person, work on that car over there and change the engine. He said, no. The team manager turned to him and said, you're fired. It went to the next guy. He said, no, you're fired. All down the line, you're fired. It was only my third race. Unbelievable. I didn't want to lose this job, but I'd rather go against the boss than against the guys, so I said no as well. You're fired. You're all fired. In that hut, there was all the Formula One teams were in there. They were listening to everything. They could hear everything going on. And they stood up and started clapping, gave us an ovation. So the boss left. It must have been 30 minutes later. He came back with a case of beer. And he said, okay, boys, why don't we talk about this? The engine man said, well, I know that one engine needs changing, but the other 2, I feel, can be fixed. And we would have to change the transmission. He said, okay, go ahead. So we did that, only took us a few hours. And the next day, my car, with Jean-Pierre Beltoire's, we had run all practice, qualifying, the morning warm-up of the race, and we pushed it to the grid, ready to start, and it would not start. I had a did not start. I saw it in the records. Jean-Pierre Beltoire's did not start. Very embarrassing. We pulled the car to the side, worked on it, did everything we could right there. Still wouldn't go. We're going to wait until it goes back to England. We're going to have people check on it. Well, they did that. And they never did find out what the problem was. So they changed all the wiring loom, all the electrics, everything, and then it was fine. But we never did find out. That's the way it would go sometimes. The cars did not fail, did not quit because of the work we had done. That was our mutiny in Brazil, and it worked. It really did work, you know, all the guys stuck together. It was a great time. Thank you.
Awesome.
Is this one of those all-nighters?
That was, yeah, with Dave Evans.
That was an all-nighter and in the rain and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
What race was that?
That was Elkhart Lake. Yeah.
Well, Dad, you might owe me a new drone. Not sure how I'm gonna get that down, honestly. It's pretty stuck up there. My first time getting the drone stuck, actually. That's really pretty lucky overall, if you think about it. I got my drone up there.
Oh, drone's cool. What'll happen if it falls?
Well, it might break. I don't know.
Can you get ready to catch it? I'm gonna get a long pole. That's not long enough.
It's not. If you're up on the ladder, it would be.
On the ladder would
Yeah, I'll get up on
Do you
the
want me
ladder.
to throw some
Hold
blankets
this.
down?
Here.
So
Here. No, he's gonna catch it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh,
Okay, it was a
Well,
it was a soft fall.
the fall.
Yeah.
the pole, yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be a little bit hardy, seeing how it's floating up in the air all the time.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I'll try it out to make sure, but I think it's okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Johnson.